Welcome to E39 Source. Today working on my E46 again. This is a production 10 of 01, 2002 model year E46 330xi sedan. We're going to be replacing, or changing rather, a bunch of fluids today. Rear differential oil. Since this is an XI model, it has a front transfer case as well as transmission fluid. I'll probably break this up into 3 videos, so this may be the generic beginning clip for each. I'm going to start with the differential oil, so that'll probably be the first upload, and then we'll have subsequent uploads of the following fluids. I'm also going to be replacing most of the, or if not all of the, drain plugs, as well as the copper washers, gaskets in there, and I also got this fluid transfer pump over here that I'll kind of be using from Motive Products, the Power Fill. So we'll have to see how that does. At this point in the video, moving on to the transmission fluid, we need the front of the car up in the air. This is a manual transmission. This is a 5-speed. The 6-speed was, I think, 03 and later. This is an 02. So it's a very different procedure, and this will only be applicable to those of you who have a clutch. Front of the car up in the air, we use the front jack point. I have removed all 3 underbelly splash shields. There's one in the front, one in the middle, and then one all the way in the back for the transmission. It might be possible that you only need to remove the one all the way in the back for the transmission, but I just took all of them down. Use the center jack point to jack it up, and then put it on stands. Make sure it's safe before you crawl under there. With all of that done, I'm going to crawl under the car now. We'll get a bolt size for you, tell you what sort of fluid we're going to be using, and show you how to drain the old fluid out.
Now underneath the car, this is your transmission. You're going to find 2 bolts on this that we're going to be playing with. The one sticking straight out the bottom is the drain bolt, but before we touch that, let's focus our attention up here. We're going to find this sticker. This tells us what type of oil to use, and also tells us that it's a lifetime oil, which is quite comical because no such thing exists. But right next to that, there's another bolt, and where would that go? The original fill bolt for that is the higher one, and is located way over here. It's a 17 millimeter, so I just put a 6-point half drive 17 millimeter socket on that. Break that free and take it out before you touch your drain bolt. Same thing with the diff. If you get your drain bolt out, get all your fluid out, and then this bolt breaks, or for some reason you can't get it out, you just bricked your car, and there's no DFU mode for a BMW. So we've gotten the fill bolt out. Now we're going to break the drain bolt free. Keeping in mind we should be draining, according to the internet, about 1.1 quarts. It certainly looks like it would take more than that. So I guess we're going to live dangerously. Have your fill, or have your oil drain pan below that. We'll get that out. So we got that 17 mil out of the way, and we were greeted with a geyser of brown fluid. So whoever owned this car before I did, those first 214,000 miles, it did get changed. The same thing was true with the differential fluid. It's probably been at least 5, 10, who knows, maybe 30,000 miles since it's been done, and you can never change fluid too often. So I don't regret doing it, but it certainly was not as bad as I thought it would be. So we're going to let that drip clean for a moment. Then we'll install the new hardware. I'll get you some part numbers on that. And then we're going to use that tool, as I mentioned before, to replace about 1.1 quarts up here using the fill hole until it just starts to run over. The front end of the car is up in the air right now, so we may not get a totally accurate reading, but it'll be close enough. And we'll tighten both of these down. I think these are 45 pound-feet as well. And we'll be done with this. So here's our new bolt for the drain and fill. They're the same bolt. It's a standard bolt with just a threaded end that goes into the transmission versus the differential bolt, which was a female bolt. Like I keep calling it that. But our new part number, and we need quantity too, but our part number is 27111226798, and there's no washers on these.
This is the transmission fluid that we're going to be using. It's just Royal Purple Synchromax. It's synthetic, high performance manual transmission fluid. So this is manual transmission fluid. I have 2 quarts of it, and we're just using this, what is this thing called? Avid? I don't know. We're using this, and it's going well so far, so we're going to keep it up.
All right, guys, so this was actually really easy. We used our tool again. We probably put in maybe closer to 1.5 quarts, and I hope that's not because we're at a little bit of an angle right now. I put the new fill bolt in. We torqued that down to 45 pounds as well. Loving using this tool. It isn't the Avid. It will take let's take some time to correct myself. It's the Motive from ECS, and Bavado has this as well. So I thought I'd give it a try, and it's proving to be a really great tool. So pretty simple job changing the transmission fluid with Synchromax. And I think we're going to move on to the transfer case now. This being a 330xi, we have a transfer case and we have a front diff. I don't have any fluid for the front diff, but I do have what the transfer case needs, and it's a very small amount of fluid. So I guess we'll move on to that now.